Hey, oh, let me remove this. Yes, there you go.
Hi, everybody. So it's so good to see you all. And I just want to welcome everyone to the Heart Medicine as we go every week here, our class. Just want to make sure we're playing with our technical. Can you guys see me as the center? Great. Okay. We've been playing behind the scenes with all the Zoom, so it's always a journey with that. But I want to welcome you to our heart medicine class. Everybody, I can't imagine a more beautiful practice that we could be doing right now. And this class is meant to really inspire you, to uplift you as we do the metta practice, which is my heart practice, is my medicine. I call it the medicine of the heart because this cultivation of the heart and the medicine really is an antidote to fear, that this practice was given as an antidote to fear by the Buddha. So it's really beautiful. I was reflecting on this quote by Hafiz, the great mystic, and he said, "Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I'd like to see you living in better conditions." Right. And so this is what we want to do. We want to upgrade, right? And we do that through the heart and the medicine of the heart. And so this process that we are undergoing together, of this great turning experience that we're in, some call it the apocalypse, I call it the great turning. And I think this is where the medicine of the heart is really going to help us. We've got to find our ground, right? And these practices help us to work through anger, hatred, not just fear, but also deep self-loathing, doubt. And so it's the heart that always shines through. So in just a moment here, I'm going to lead us through the practice. And you'll see Baba will put in the chat. We disable it when we're doing the meditation, but the 4 phrases that we work with should be in the chat section. So may I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong in my body. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being. So these are the phrases that we work with, and we're going to be focusing on ourselves a lot here as we do them, because you could look the whole world over and find no one more deserving of your love than yourself. Okay, so we have to always be working with ourselves, right? It's like we're the well, which everything comes out. When we take care of ourselves, we're able to be present in the world. And I just want to say how much I have enjoyed so much of the work that I've done on metta retreats. I've taught many at Spirit Rock Meditation Center. I'm putting several on my schedule coming up next year. I'll be teaching at Big Bear Retreat Center in Big Bear, California, doing a metta retreat. And just, yeah, when we're filled with loving kindness, it is just, yeah, what more could we want? We're at peace, we're at home, right? And so much right now is, we're being bombarded. So it's easy to get off track and get swept up into all this greed, all this hatred, and so much delusion right now. So we need these heart practices. So thank you all for coming on and joining our metta revolution and doing this practice all together. I wanted to just say a little bit. I wanted to read a little part before we start on the Metta Sutta. There's the Buddha's words on loving kindness. This is where the sutta became part of the whole tradition. He says, this is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, And he goes on to describe, and I'm going to talk tonight about the benefits, not only of the practice, but there's a lot of magic to this that I want to share with you. So we'll sit for 30 minutes, everybody. We'll be saying the phrases. Then we'll have a Dharma talk together, and then there'll be time for Q&A. Okay. So I want to encourage everyone. So get into your metta meditation zone here. I encourage people not to lie down to do it, meaning lie flat on your back, because that is a slippery slope, everyone, into sleep. You know, we start off with a good intention, and then next thing you know, so you got to be present here, right? So if you feel a little bit tired, you know, sit up with your back. And also this practice gives you energy. You would be surprised. Meditation actually can give you energy. It's interesting how that works. It seems so sedentary, but it can fill you up. Okay. So let's do that. So let's begin to settle in. And thank you so much, Bava. Baba Diva is our host with the most, hostess and host with the most. And so we just give thanks for you. And as you practice with us, we're all going to be working with the metta together. So let's begin by coming into our bodies, right? So much of our day, we feel disassociated and not connected. So let's just take a moment here. And I'd like to have you begin by imagining you're coming in, like your spirit's coming in from the crown chakra, right? You're coming into your body. So let's move your neck and your shoulders around a little bit. And I invite you into taking deep breaths. Take an inhale and an exhale. And moving your shoulders around, we want to invite our nervous systems to begin to settle here, right? So moving your shoulders, relaxing. Let your hands be soft. Let your face be soft. And as you breathe, I think it's so beautiful. I like to do Thich Nhat Hanh's breathing practice, where we start just by breathing in peace on the inhale and just saying the words, and breathing out compassion. And just notice for a moment as you do that, as you feel into your heart center, just on the inhale, peace, and on the exhale, compassion. And as you feel into the heart center, we just want to activate this part. Just imagine the breath is just coming right in from the center of the chest. And now bringing your awareness now deep into your belly. Right underneath the belly button, this is an area where we often clench and hold tension and stress. So take some very deep belly breaths right now. See if you can allow your belly to expand on the inhale and expand on the exhale. Breathing in. Peace, breathing out, compassion. Let the belly be soft. Expand any place in your whole system that feels tight, like it's clenching. To see if you can just, with your awareness and your breath. This is our loving awareness body scan. And now feel your body sitting in the chair or the cushion. Feel the contact. As you continue to be breathing in the peace, breathing out compassion. And Now feel your legs in whatever position they're in. Feel your knees. And bringing your awareness through the upper legs, the lower legs. Now feel your feet in whatever position. So from head to toe, we start with this loving awareness body scan, breathing in peace, breathing out compassion. And now as you settle into your body deeper now with deeper levels of awareness, you can bring your awareness back to the heart center. And I encourage some of you who want to feel the energy in a different way, you can always put your hand on your heart or explore that throughout the practice. You can take your left hand and put it in your right hand. And this is just a way that we are feeling our own presence as we enter into the visualization part. The metta practice is both the visualization where we imagine ourselves in this moment. It could be as if you're looking in a mirror and we begin to offer the phrases. So we're holding the visualization and then we're offering each phrase slowly or at whatever pace feels right for you. And it can be helpful also to connect to your name. If you have a nickname, a name that maybe as a child it was a name of affection, darling, beautiful one, all of these, as we practice, we want to know that the metta is about kindness and friendliness to ourselves, right? So we begin to offer this, extend this kindness, almost like as if the Tara Kuan Yin herself was sitting with you and offering these words, seeing you in your true nature, right? Seeing the being that you are. So we work with that. So let us begin as we hold this image of ourselves. We begin to offer the phrases, may I be happy and peaceful. And see yourself in that moment. You could also use the different way of saying it. May you be happy, as if you're looking at this beautiful image and you're speaking right to your own heart. May you be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be safe and protected wherever I go in this world. May I be healthy and strong. In this body. So again, sending love through your body. See, in this moment, if you can just breathe in, may my body be healthy and strong. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being. When we say these words, and the mind will, of course, begin to wander. And as soon as you notice it's wandering, just gently bring it back. Bring it back to the phrases, to the image of yourself. You might imagine yourself at a younger time, 3-year-old or 10-year-old image, whatever allows you to access the feeling. We do this practice in the easiest way possible, right? We're training the mind, we're inclining the mind toward kindness to ourselves. So be gentle. We're like the farmers who are planting their seeds deep in the ground. And so we're methodical, and we're doing this slowly. So we take our time. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong in this body. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being. And so taking some time on your own to repeat the phrases, other words of love may come through. It's fine to offer those. But we come back again and again, holding the image of ourselves, feeling the hand on the heart. One phrase, one breath at a time. Stay connected. Do your best to just keep the practice going. If we lose awareness, just come back, pick up the phrases again. Softening your body if you notice tension. Allow the practice to become an energetic, embodied practice as best you can. Focusing on the heart. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong in this body. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being. Over and over, we say the words. And try to hold the image of yourself. Could be a photo, maybe a favorite photo that you have that comes to mind. Any image of you as you offer these words of care, friendliness, and kindness. May you, dear one, be happy and peaceful. May you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong in your body. May you live with ease and joy and well-being. And keep softening Soften the belly, the shoulders. Stay connected to the words and the image of your beautiful self. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong in this body. And may I live with ease and joy and well being. And keep coming back over and over. We say the beautiful words of the metta phrases 1,000 times, 10,000 times in a period of practice. We plant 10,000 seeds in our heart. May I be happy and peaceful. All beings, one happiness. Our deepest wish is happiness and peace. So may I be filled with happiness and peace. May I be safe and protected. Wherever I go in this world, may I be safe. And may I be healthy and strong in this body. See if you can breathe the metta through the heart into every cell of your body. This body that has carried the weight of the world on its shoulders. May this body be healthy and strong. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being just as life is. May I live with joy and ease with things as they are, present moment. And just a couple of more moments here. See if you can really just even 2%, 1% of friendliness, directing it toward yourself. Let your heart just be activated. You might feel emotion, you might feel hardness. Doesn't matter. We just keep offering. Each phrase, each word carries an intention of this ancient practice. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be safe and protected. May I be healthy and strong in this body. And may I live with ease and joy and well-being. And we're just going to begin to expand this metta out. I want you to imagine that there's this light that's just coming out from the center of your chest, and the metta is flowing out to your families, your communities, the people you live with, your coworkers. May our families, our communities be happy and peaceful. You can imagine all the people in your neighborhood as you expand your field of metta. The people that we see at the grocery store, pack our fruits and vegetables, all the people dropping off mail, and may we all be happy and peaceful. Keep expanding this metta to include more and more people. May all of the people in the United States be safe and protected. And then expanding beyond these borders to all beings in all parts of the world. May all beings be healthy and strong. Imagine all the continents, all the nations, may all beings, all the animals in the earth and the sky, may all beings everywhere live with ease and joy and well-being. And as we begin to bring our practice to a close, we often like to put my hands in the prayer position at the heart, and then I just offer a bow to the practice, to my own practice, my own journey of heart medicine. Giving thanks for this time together. And as you come out of it, if you need to move your body in some way, you might feel like you want to do some back bends or just open up your midsection. This is also, metta is a concentration practice. So when you get really focused, you can start to develop those qualities of concentration. And yeah, thank you so much. I was feeling that one. I could go on and on. I have to almost look at the time and stop myself because my mind gets very focused. But really want to just say hi to everyone, just welcome you all. Thank you for your metta practice. Know that when we're doing this work for our heart, we are the collective. We are the ecosystem. So 55 people doing metta tonight affects the whole. We're working within the grid, right? We are the trees in the forest. We are this. So do not ever feel that taking time and really working with this metta practice for you is in any way a self-centered endeavor. It's not. I heal my heart. I overfloweth onto you, right? When I love me, I automatically love you, right? How could I not? I'm loving me in that moment. So don't ever worry about that. Sometimes people do worry about that. So I wanted to tell a story, and then I'm going to read a couple of things to you and read some from the Metta Sutta. But there was a very powerful story that just came into my awareness. And it was a story about me teaching a class through Spirit Rock Meditation Center, where I'm on the Teachers Council. I've been kind of on a long sabbatical as I've transitioned to Georgia, and I'm centering my work here and going to be teaching a lot of meditation and embodiment and heart work here in Georgia. That's my goal, is to create a retreat center here. And I had this very powerful memory of this beautiful moment. And I was teaching an online class, Spirit Rock, and maybe it was like on a Sunday. And it was about 100 people on Zoom. And it was called Love and Letting Go. And it was about the metta practice and how metta and love helps us to let go. And I was doing a Q&A, and it was an all-day retreat where we were walking and sitting, and we even had a yoga teacher, and we were doing the metta practice. So all of us, many hours of this, we all felt really connected and tender. And I think I had some breakout groups sharing, and it was just this amazing group of people online, people really passionate, and really. And I remember during the Q&A, this man came on to the Q&A, and I could see our screens side by side, and he was maybe in his 80s. And he had this beautiful energy in it. Wherever he was, his house had all these beautiful, statues and a tonka, and just like a devotee, right? And pictures of Ramana Maharshi, and he just looked so beautiful, but he was crying. And he was trying to get, his emotions, like he was feeling, I guess, a little embarrassed, but I was saying, no, what is it? I'm so happy to answer your questions for you, or what would you like to share with us? And welcome to, share your wisdom with us, or whatever it was that you'd like to ask a question. And he said to me, he said to the group, he said, well, I'm getting into the last years of my life. I was married for like 50 years to the most beautiful woman. She passed away recently. We have, he described having 5 children that he was very close to. And then he had like 8 grandchildren. And he said, one of the things that's hard for me to let go is my grandchildren and my children. I know that I need to make this transition to the spirit world. It's time. I feel my body. I feel my wife has gone. I've lived a beautiful life, but I feel a transition is nearing. But I think about them, and I don't know how to let go, because I adore my grandchildren and I adore my children. And I remember there was something about what he was saying, and he goes, Spring, can you tell me what I can do to let go? And I was like, oh my God, and he was shaking, and these tears, and just thinking about it. Oh my God, there was something so beautiful. And I remember I looked at him and I said, wow, what a blessing, first of all, that you're such this, I can tell you must, such a loving father, and you have these children. So I said, the next time you get together with your family, I want you to make a divine appointment as this archetypal grandfather. And I want you to gather everyone, and I want you to tell them every heart story that ever meant anything to you. Tell them about how you loved your beautiful wife. Tell them all the lessons that you learned about love and compassion. Tell them about this day long. And I want each of those children, you give them all that love. You give them the stories to carry on for you, right? They live through you. They live through your heart. we all started weeping, right? It was like, and he was like, okay, I'm going to be seeing them all. We're having a family gathering. And I said, you write them down, the stories, you pass them, you hold them, you tell them everything that you want them to know. And he was just crying. And then I just started crying because I never had a grandfather like that. And I was like, oh, to be a child and to have your grandfather go, let me give you everything I've learned about this human life before I pass away, and how much I've loved and I've cared and I've made mistakes and I've forgiven myself. And to enter into that stage of life, that is a letting go, when you can look back and you can think about, man, I lived this life and I gave everything I had to live it with compassion and courage. And I forgave when it was hard. And I practiced loving people. And to be able to say that, like, as we're going in our transition moment, what a gift. And a month later, I got a letter back from Christina, our Spirit Rock manager, and he had wrote, and he said he had the most magical, trip with all of his children. And indeed, he had written down stories, and he had passed down, and he had wrote letters saying, from your grandpapa, remember this on your 18th birthday, on your 30th birthday, I'm with you through your heart. And I just start crying. I mean, I think about that story. Ooh, that was some heart medicine. I mean, we were all just like, oh, we had to take a moment. And even now, we need these energies. We need your heart. We need to have that, as, our deepest value is love, right? And how we love each other. And it feels like all these villains are having their parties right now, right? And it feels like, why does everybody want to be a villain? It's like on Netflix, how to be a villain, it's like, oh my God, we're obsessed with it. But don't underestimate, because I get this from you, Bava, and your mama, that there is a higher power than these villains having their heyday. And that higher power is metta, is loving kindness, is compassion, is joy. That these are the immeasurable qualities that the Buddha talked about. These are boundless, immeasurable, right? Greed, hatred, and delusion, nothing built right? That is based on the foundation of love and compassion, right? With those qualities. I can't help but remember Dr. King. I'm just a few blocks from his house, Memorial Park here in Atlanta, Georgia. And he said, a long arc of the universe bends toward justice, right? Through love. And we have to remember that through these dark days of turbulence, where it feels like so much is being amplified. So I'm just happy I got to share that beautiful story. I wish I remembered his name, but it's just moments like that that are so transformative with our practices. These are real, everybody. These are meant to be lived, right? We do them here together, and then we go out and we meet the world with this heart, right? We meet one another. So I want to share with you the benefits of metta, which is in the Metta Sutta. This is in this ancient text. And so this is what was reported, that were the words of the Buddha. Thus, we have heard about the benefits of doing metta practice. I also give this to you all as an encouragement, right? You don't have to always wait till Tuesday night, although I've cleared my schedule for 10 years to do this practice with you all every Tuesday. Rain or shine, I'm here. So the benefits of metta. People who practice metta, they say, sleep peacefully. That's a good one, with so many sleeping things going on. Not only do they sleep peacefully, but they wake up peacefully. Have you ever noticed sometimes you wake up and you can feel like, whoa, I wake up in a wrath. Like, I have to get, the day is waiting. So to wake peacefully, what a gift. Sleep peacefully, wake peacefully. Dream peaceful dreams. People love them, right? That's true. Angels love them. Also, angelic and celestial beings not only love you, but they also protect you. And I have another story to tell about this. They are reborn in the most heavenly realm. So those are some of the benefits. Another story about this. Some of you might know an African monk from Uganda named Bante Buddha Rakita. If anybody knows Bante Buddha Rakita, it's someone you will never forget. He teaches at Insight Meditation. He's been a monk for at least 25 years. Bante started a Buddhist monastery in Uganda. It was the first ever one to teach meditation. And one of the things that you love, I love his energy is pure metta, right? First of all, when he walks into the room, you can feel his metta before he even smiles. Then when he smiles, you just feel like you're in front of like a high wattage beam of, like, wow. And I just adore Bante Buddha Rakita. He teaches at Spirit Rock. He teaches often the 3-month course. And he travels all around the world as this traveling monk teaching the heart practices. And he told me this story because he does metta all the time. Obviously, when you're a monk, your life is, dedicated to practice. So while he travels, he's often barefoot in airports and in other places. He's often, doing the metta sutta and chanting. So his monastery in Uganda, the community was very scared of him because in Uganda at that time, they thought maybe he was doing witchcraft because his mother became ordained under him and they were doing all this meditation, sitting out. And that was a new practice for the Ugandan people. They had never seen people in orange robes. They thought it was odd that his mother moved there and had, cut her hair. And they were like, okay, well, we're not these people, we're scared of them. So he started getting a lot of death threats. And when he would be out, he'd be smiling and hugging people. But then other people would be like, are you a demon or what are you teaching? And he would try to alleviate everyone's fear and open up the monastery and be like, no, we're teaching this path of meditation, mindfulness, love, metta. And so he started to feel so much of that suffering of the community in Uganda. And he even wrote a book about this. So one night, late at night, he was doing walking meditation by the moonlight within the monastery. And he said the death threats to his life became so severe that he had to hire a guard. So he had this guard who was armed, also walking around the outside of the temple and in the temple grounds. And as he's walking, he was actually doing metta, which was so interesting. And what happened was that all of a sudden, the guard turned around, pulled out a gun and pointed at him and started shooting at him. The guard actually secretly he didn't know, obviously, that this person wanted to kill him, but he pointed the gun. So there's Bante doing the walking meditation. He's like hardly any clothes, just wrapped in his monk robe. And he said he was in this hallway. And all of a sudden, when the gun went off, he said his body flew up into the ceiling. And there was like a low hanging, it was like a drop down ceiling. You know how you have houses with a drop ceiling? He literally, he said his body went like up. He doesn't even know how it fully happened. And weirder than that, as he flies up through the roof and he's like, because obviously the guy's shooting and then he ran away thinking I surely shot him. I shot right at him, right? So Bante is up in the thing. And not only that, somehow he magically has a cell phone in his hand. So he calls the police while he's hiding up in this rafter, and he doesn't even know how he's hanging up there or what's going on, right? And so once he felt safe enough, and the police said, "We're on our way," he came back down, and they went and looked for the man and arrested the man. And as Bante told the story, later, when I was teaching a retreat with him at Spirit Rock, he was telling me the story and he wrote it in this book. It was like a cartoon book. And I was like, oh my God, Bante, I can't believe someone almost killed you. You're like, and he goes, you know, what protected me was the metta. And he goes, remember in the sutta where it said guns, weapons, poisons, because to this day, he felt that some kind of angelic being just pulled him out of the line of fire. Right? Because obviously this person had been planning this for a long time, right? This wasn't a just, so wherever there was a divine intervention. And so he talks about that story. The day I was almost murdered, they almost, and then he's so fearless. He took some time off, traveled, did retreats, but he still goes to the monastery. He's like, I have nothing but forgiveness. The guy, he ran away. They didn't even know what happened to him. But Bante's like, I've already forgiven it. And I will continue to educate people so that they don't have fear and around these practices of meditation, mindfulness, and monasticism, and they can incorporate it. So there you go. So you can look up Bante Buddha Rakita's beautiful Ugandan monk, and he must be about 70 and he looks like he's like 25. And that's also, he goes, it's my metafacial. I'm always like, Bante, why don't you look younger every time I see you? Where it's like, we're all aging and you're going back in time. And he honestly, I think because he lives on this energy of care and kindness, it's just like, it's a flowing stream. He set his life up in that way. So that's a real story on the benefits of metta. And so I also want to come back to sharing a little bit more about the Buddha's words on the Metta Sutta. So I began to read the sutta to you. And this sutta is chanted. This sutta is sang. This is a really big part. So yeah, we'll put Bante Buddha Rakita, and it's almost exactly how it sounds. If you Google metta-filled Ugandan monk, you'll get 10 pictures of him. Let me tell you, because he's often on the news, on these, he doesn't even try. People just start following him around and, so there you go, Shelly. Yeah, Bante. So he also teaches, and he's just such a dear, beautiful being. And I remember when we were meeting together a few years ago, we had a teacher gathering, and he was even interested in plant medicine. He goes, it's against my vows, but I'm really curious because so many of my people in Uganda have terrible trauma. And I'm wondering, is this maybe, and his mind was just so open, maybe this could help. And I was like, oh, Bante, you always have such an open mind around all, your work of service and helping people. Okay, so I want to continue just reading a little bit from the sutta and offer some reflections for us here. So it says, be straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm, wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing always in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, the medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. And so there's another part, but I'm going to pause there just to talk about that a little bit. And then we'll have time to take some questions. But, I really love this way of looking at how metta becomes our living practice. One of my other inspirational teachers who I learned so much from was Sharon Salzberg, who is a metta, we call her the metta queen. She wrote a really beautiful book, some of you, that I'll send out. It's called Metta, The Revolutionary Art to Happiness. And it just goes in depth into this practice in a deeper way. But it's like once we set the practice in motion, it takes on a life of its own, right? As we sit and we do the practice every day, you do 30 minutes a day. What happens is as you walk out of your house, you start to see the birds. May the birds be happy. May the trees be happy. May my neighbors be happy, right? Anything that you are practicing grows, right? This is the law of the truth of the science of neuroplasticity right now. We are literally creating new neurons, right? New pathways in the brain through practice, right? We practice the view, and you have to think about metta as being unconditional love, right? It's this unconditional. It's like the sun. It shines on everyone. It doesn't go no, not never you. We walk out and we like, may all living beings. So the Metta Sutta goes to the born and the unborn, the seen and the unseen. It goes really deep and all to the east, the northeast, the southeast, right? Now the west, it goes in detail to every living beings, the Deva realms, to our teachers, to our protectors, to our ancestors. So the Metta Sutta, when we're doing it, it literally goes through every category of being, and to all beings, may all beings be at ease, right? May all beings be at ease. So, but again, we start with ourselves, because when I'm doing metta for myself, it's natural to extend it. When I don't feel the metta for myself, metta can feel like a burden. It doesn't feel natural. We feel like we're extending something that we need. So it's very important to fill your cup so deep that the metta just comes out, right? If you feel depleted, if you feel, then it's hard, right? It doesn't flow out naturally. So I want you to keep remembering to seed your own garden. That is so important. And every word, every phrase is this beautiful mantra. And every day you're saying mantras to yourself. They're probably painful ones, right? Words that are not loving and kind. So start to think about this practice as an integrated way of living. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. And when you walk to the kitchen to get your coffee, may all beings be, we start to weave it into our consciousness. And then when it's deeply rooted, it starts to really, the garden, once you have a plant that has some roots in it, what happens to it? All of a sudden, it grows, right? It's like once it gets really, if you put it in the pot for a while and you're like, is it gonna go? Is it, once it starts to develop, first it goes under the ground, right? It grows down. And then all of a sudden on the outer, you have all of these, then the rose bushes appear and all the beautiful things appear. But first it has to get rooted in itself, dig those deep roots. So I feel like even after years of practicing, I'm still rooting in my little metta pot. it's still, I feel like a beginner every time. And I love that, actually. Don't be an expert. Experts are no fun. Always have that beginner's mind, right? Oh, I'm hearing it for the first time. Okay, what is this? Have that openness. More can be received when your cup is open, you know? You don't want to show up with your nothing can fill it in a way. So I hope that makes sense, everybody. And so let's do this. There's some beautiful comments on here. I'm going to look at them. I often don't check the chat. May we be happy and peaceful. Okay. Yes. And this version of the Metta Sutta, this is basically online. You can get this on Buddha.net. And you can get this too on a website called Access to Insight. And this is just the Metta Sutta. And I didn't even read all of it. We're going to work on the second half next week. But I wanted to take some time for some reflections for the next few minutes. If anybody has questions that they would like to have answered, or even reflections on something that might have touched you about the practice, or something that, you know, was inspiring to you, before Bava makes the closing announcements. And Bava, let's just make sure we put everything in the chat menu too for the closing part. So you can raise your hand if you have. Stephanie, thank you. You love the heart medicine. So yes, anytime. Any questions, reflections?